Hi everyone, and welcome to another video for the collector. Today we'll be talking about this game, about Disney Illusion Island. Here you can also see the cover of the game. It's a Nintendo Switch exclusive, and in generally I want to keep the reviews for this channel short. I also want to include some gameplay and maybe also my face over the next reviews. We will see how I will be doing this generally. This video might be a little bit longer because I also want to talk about myself, just so I can give you an idea from where I'm coming from. Meaning that I was writing reviews for music albums for almost 20 years. I'm writing reviews for games for almost 12 years. I was also an online editor for several outlets. It was kind of also my main job for a couple of years, and I'm still collaborating with the Greek media outlet for video games, especially for consoles, because my PC hardware is really weak over the last years. I'm using PC only to write articles or for my main job. So yeah, having talked about that, I want to say that, already spoiling the video, that Disney Illusion Island is a great game. The first thing that really made me a fan of this is how they portray the characters. The art style is great. The way the characters talk, the jokes that they make, everything is great. And also the soundtrack is amazing. It's definitely one of the best soundtracks I've heard this year, especially for a game that is also intended for, I would say, a younger audience, without meaning that I couldn't enjoy it or you will not enjoy it. I have to say that for me, it's very clear that this studio has a lot of people that are big fans of Disney. You can also see when we dive into the game that the art style they're using, except for colorful, they have used a little bit of old Disney where Mickey's really thin, but also newer art style from newer cartoons, and the end effect is really amazing. They've done a great job. I think the biggest highlight is about how nice everything is portrayed here, how colorful the game is. Yeah, they have done a very good job. Regarding now the game itself, the gameplay is your typical platformer, but with a lot of Metroidvania game tactics. What do I mean with that is that you have a very big map. You can see it here. All the areas are given to you from the beginning, but in order to proceed, you need a variety of skills. For example, you need the double jump, or you need to learn how to glide, or how to swim. So you have a lot of cool things. It's very the typical Metroidvania experience that you know from other games. The biggest downside on the game is that the Metroidvania aspect, but also the platforming aspect, it really uses very basic things, especially for the Metroidvania. Do not expect a new Metroid Dread or a new Hollow Knight, nothing like that. It's not so complicated. It's a shorter game. I think you can complete it definitely in less than 10 hours. It has, though, a lot of collectibles where you can go inside the menu and see your collection, Mickey memorabilia, and see what you can collect over the map, or maybe the Glimpse rewards where you can unlock different things that will give you extra hearts. Now, as I told you before, the fact that the game is rather basic towards the Metroidvania aspects, but it has a very addicting, a good gameplay regarding the platforms, especially the wall jump and the swimming. It really feels very natural. It doesn't make it a bad game. And what do I mean with that? This game is clearly, for me, intended for a younger audience, but it doesn't make it very easy, but also not very hard. And it also features co-op, meaning that you can and you should also enjoy it with another player, or maybe up to 4. With 4 players, it's a little bit chaotic. Nevertheless, I can see how this can be very funny and a pleasant experience for a family. Having said that, especially because this game is aimed towards a younger audience and it's clearly a family game and a great family game, I don't mind that it isn't as packed and fully fledged out as Metroid Dread or Hollow Knight. It's a much more relaxed, easier experience. It ticks only the most basic boxes, and it feels like the perfect introduction into the Metroidvania aspect of games. So if you have a child or a younger brother, or maybe your girlfriend isn't as experienced as you in video games, but you want to give her to try out a Metroidvania game, this one is it. It gives you the basic idea that you need new abilities to reach new areas, to proceed to new areas, and then you have the platforming aspect that is very enjoyable and very addicting. Again, this wall jump feature, it really, I don't know, it just flows. The game really flows. You cannot really hit other enemies. You have to jump over them, and this is also a thing for the boss fights. And generally speaking, maybe the only thing I think that is a little bit unneeded are how many checkpoints there are. Or to be more precisely, you have a lot of checkpoints, and I wouldn't mind this if it didn't mean that if I collect a collectible before I go to the next checkpoint, even if I die, I keep it. And why do I say that? I'm not an elitist. I don't really need that the games will be hard. But let's say that this collectible was in a very tough spot. And if I know that even if I'm collecting it and die, I will keep it, I will not think about how to get this difficult collectible before I don't know, fall off on fire or on something sharp and die. I will just go, get it, die, and then I will respawn to the nearest checkpoint, even if it was behind. I think this is a little bit too easy, because most of the collectibles you can get it really easy. And these 10, 15 hard to reach collectibles where you need to combine some abilities, I think that you should let people, even younger audience, just think about how to get them with a little bit more trial and error. I think this would be nice. But you can see here, I'm just nitpicking. Another thing that I didn't like is that in order to change my character, though you can change a lot of things in the settings, like for example, if you go here under player, you can change your starting health. If you want jump assist, if you want boot jump assist, it has a lot of accessibility options. But you cannot change your character unless you boot out of the game. You go to the main menu. Now, it isn't a PlayStation 5, so loading times will be a little bit taking longer. Technically, the game does an exceptional job. I didn't have any frame drops. The loading times are some of the best I've seen on a first-party game from the Nintendo Switch. But exactly because these four characters, they are really funny, the physics are great, each of one has a different item for the same ability, so it's really funny to see them how to walk and how they jump and how they react. And when you just leave them alone, Donald gets really grumpy, for example. I wish I could simply change the character within the game, especially for someone who wants to experience it as a single player. As a single player experience, he should be able to do this. But other than this, a very solid game. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think that if you search for games to play together with your children, or to play maybe with someone who isn't as experienced as you, and you want to have also a great time, so not to get bored and play something mediocre, this is the one. I know it's a basic Metroidvania. I know maybe there are better platformers out there with more variety. It doesn't have a lot of enemies. I wish it would have more variety into the different enemies, but it's a good game. The jokes are there for adults and also children, and you will feel that you play a game not because you must play something for a younger audience, but you will also have fun. And there aren't a lot of games out there, to be honest with you, that can do this, to be a family game that will excite also the father and mother, the parents, but also the children. So very good job to the studio that did. It's one of the better Disney games. I didn't expect it to be that good. I thought maybe around the 6th, 7th, but yeah, I think if the studio works on a sequel for this or something like this, and they take the feedback from the community to make some aspects of the game better, I think we might be here on something very, very special. For the time being, it's a good game. Probably one of the best couch co-op family games you can get out there. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below. Disney Illusion Island, did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just, yeah, tell me in the comment sections. Bye everyone.